Thank you very much. I'll call the July 23rd, 2025 Board of Directors meeting for the Southeastern Public Service Authority to order. And the first thing, if we would all rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
Is there anybody here registered to make public comment?
No one has registered to make a public comment either in person or electronically.
Do we have anybody participating electronically from the board or the alternates?
No.
All right, well, the next thing I guess would be chairman's comments. As you'll hear a little bit later today from the executive director, we have secured the permits for cells, formally secured the permits for cells 8 and 9. That gives us 35 years of guaranteed disposal capacity, and if we play our cards right, 70 years of disposal capacity. And I have to tell you, that's about as valuable as having a guaranteed water supply. And it's something that every member locality owns and has as long as we're all in SPSA. Still have some major work to do to cement that with respect to the use and support agreement amendment and the alternate wastewater disposal contract, but I think we can get there. I would like to like to welcome our new ex officio board member from Isle of Wight, Mr. Donald Robertson. Mr. Robertson has 35 years of experience, and he is now the Chief Administrative Officer of Isle of Wight. Welcome aboard. We also have a board member who is retiring this month, the end of this month, and this will be his last meeting. Al Moore, who is the ex officio board member from Suffolk and has served our organization since 2020, so we've got 5 years under his belt there. We do have a resolution that we're going to offer to the board in honor of his service, and we would ask that the Madam Secretary read that resolution.
Resolution of appreciation to Albert Moore II in recognition of his service as a member of the Board of Directors of the Southeastern Public Service Authority. Whereas Albert Moore II has served on the Board of Directors of the Southeastern Public Service Authority of Virginia, SPSA, as the ex officio representative of the City of Suffolk from October 28, 2020 through July 23, 2025. And whereas his willingness to support the regional solid waste management programs of the authority with his knowledge, experience, and expertise has rendered an invaluable service to the citizens of the City of Suffolk, Southeastern Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and to this authority, enhancing the quality of life for all. And whereas, with a feeling of sincere gratitude, on this occasion, the Board of Directors of the Southeastern Public Service Authority of Virginia expresses its deepest respect and appreciation for his professional service to the authority and to the citizens it serves. Now, therefore, be it resolved with great pride, the Board of Directors of the Southeastern Public Service Authority of Virginia recognizes, thanks, and commends Albert Moore II for his service to the authority and presents this resolution as a token of its esteem and orders a copy be spread upon the minutes of this meeting.
So I would ask for a motion and a second, and following that, we'll have a little discussion if anybody has anything to say to our departing board member.
So moved, with pleasure.
So we have a motion and a second. So for discussion, I guess I'd like to say that I've known Al for almost 4 decades. He's served as a public servant in this area for more than 4 decades, over a decade with Norfolk, and then 3 decades with Suffolk, starting out as their director of public utilities, and then interim city, then the deputy city manager, and the last 5 years as city manager. And I will tell you that my assessment in a business or an environment that's almost always choppy waters and stormy seas, Al has been a very steady, very competent, and very professional hand at the wheel. And I think those people who know him, they'll tell you two or three things. They can always count on him to do the right thing, that he is a total professional, and that he is always a man of his word. And that is a good thing to have when you're in this business. Al, I want to thank you, and I hope you enjoy retirement as much as I do. So, anybody else like to say anything? All right, I guess I sucked all the air out of the room. Al, would you like to say anything?
Now, well, a little bit, but thank you for the kind words in the resolution. You know, it's just been my month of last this, last that, and you know, I'm almost over the last stuff. You know, it's like, but I do appreciate the words. I do appreciate the support from everyone that I've been associated with for well 41 years in municipal government, and yet Tom and I go back a long ways, and some of the others, and John and I have known each other from our Norfolk days, and but anyway, thank you all. Yeah, I was practicing my golf swing last night at the practice range, so we're getting ready.
All right, so following this, I'm going to ask the board to pass a motion that says that chairmen can be former board of director members. Just kidding. All right, so we have a motion and a second to accept the resolution. We'll call for a vote. Yes, we had
I'm sorry.
Mr.
Yes, we
Kiefer
did.
moved and
Sorry. Yes,
Mr.
we
Ralston
did.
seconded. So one rare time that I have to end up correcting our secretary. It's usually vastly the other way
I
around.
even have it written down.
So, all right, so I think we should take a roll call on this one, if it's okay. All right, we'll take a roll call.
Okay. Mr. Maxwell. Mr. Maxwell.
Wasn't paying attention, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're taking roll call for Mr. Moore's resolution.
What? Oh. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Sori.
It took me a
Ms. Ralston. Ms. Oglesby. Dr. Baugh.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Robertson. Mr. Kiefer.
Yes, good luck, Al.
Mr. Broad. Mr. McCoy. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Parnell. Ms. Lowe. I'll skip over you, Mr. Moore. Mr. Leahy.
Yes.
Mr. Hanson.
All right, the motion is carried. All right, so the next thing is, I'm sure everybody knows that the ex officio members, that is members that are appointed by the cities from their, essentially someone who works for the city, and the alternates that they appoint, have no term limits. They are essentially appointees for life, at least at the discretion of the board, the governing board, respective governing board, and perhaps at some discretion of the board member. But with respect to the governor-appointed board members, all terms expire on the same day. All 8 terms expire on December 31st, 2025. Not sure why we didn't think ahead to stagger them, but we didn't. And the bylaws also state, and perhaps maybe the code too, that governor appointee board members may serve only 2 4-year terms. So of our 8 governor appointed board members, 5 have that 2-year term limit and can't serve again. The other 3 who can serve again still must be reappointed. It's not an automatic rollover. I think earlier I told you, based on information we'd gotten from the state, that everybody would have to go through the state's volunteer resource board. And I will also point out to you that that's actually a little bit more grueling than it sounds. But since that time, our council and our secretary have had some discussions with the people at the state and showed them what the state law actually says in that respect. And that task is not necessary. But each locality, must submit 3 names to the governor, and they can do it by email. And they say it actually goes to the Assistant Secretary of the Commonwealth. And I will get this out in a letter and emails to everybody. They need to submit 3 names with resumes, brief bios or resumes, and then the governor will select from them. I assume they submit them in a preferential order, and I suspect that barring any kind of crazy things going on, the governor usually takes the city's recommendations. But the point is, it has to be done, all 8 jurisdictions, by December 31st, before December 31st, need to get this list up to the governor's office, so that we'll have a board that can convene in January. All right, and like I say, I will be getting emails and letters out to you all and to your chief administrative officers and to your chief elected officer, your mayors or your chairman of the board of supervisors. Any comment or any discussion, any questions? Yes, sir. Microphone, please. Microphone.
I'd just like to make a comment and add to what you just said. With that in mind of taking effect on January the 1st, I think it's important that this board and the executive director not move without forethought, but that we try to get these use and support agreements done before the end of the year. If not, it could be a very troublesome time for SPSA after January 1st. So I think it's important that the 8 communities work with their city managers or county managers or town managers and get these use and support agreements back so we can take actions on or before December 31st of this year.
It's a very good point, and it is something I think we're going to be discussing in closed session today. Anyone else have any questions or comments on the reappointments of the governor's appointees? Okay. The next issue is the election of this is our annual meeting. We don't need to convene the annual meeting, do we? Okay. Oh, see, told you. Most often she corrects me because I forgot to, because it's not on the list here. All right, so the minutes were distributed by email last week, and they're in your agenda packet. Do you have any corrections to the minutes? Anybody? I would point out on the motion to go back to certify the closed session, I'm listed as couldn't be heard because we had a little bit of a technical glitch at the end. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to tell you that I was yelling really loud, yes, yes. But so I don't know if you need to correct the minutes. We'll let you and our council work out whether you want to correct the minutes on that. Are there any other corrections or discussions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes. Mr. McCoy is, Is that acceptable?
Just, are we talking about the May minutes?
May meeting.
Going back and revising the minutes for May? Let me look at that. I mean, if we're going to do it after, those have already been approved in June. So we can, if we're going to change it, we could do it next month as well. But I'd like to look to see what it is, because I'm not sure what the issue is. For- Okay, I just don't have the minutes here. I don't remember what was marked. I'd like to look at it. And if we need to revise, but it's not for the June ones, right?
Well, no, the June minutes, the June minutes indicate that you were here, but that you left at 12:56.
It was May. So
Okay.
I'll get with Brett and we'll let you know if we need to make corrections, we will.
Any other discussions, changes, corrections for the minutes? If not, I'll entertain motion and a second to accept the minutes.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Moore, second by Mr. Hanson. Unless there's any other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Anybody that has to abstain? Please let the record reflect that Ms. Oglesby has to abstain because she wasn't here. All right, now we move on to the annual meeting and election of officers. We have a nominating committee consisting of a chairman, Mr. John Kiefer, and board members, Mr. Luke McCoy and Ms. Cheryl Ralston. Mr. Kiefer will give a report and will offer the slate of officers and provide an opportunity for any additional nominees.
Thank you. Per our bylaws, which were last amended in 2016, we have 4 officers: chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. The secretary and treasurer need not be board members, and they even may be the same person. The chair may be elected for 2 consecutive one-year terms, but it says he could also serve for a 3rd or 4th year if approved by a majority of the board. As you've said, myself, Cheryl Ralston, and Luke McCoy have come up with a slate, and I think we talked about it previously. Our recommended slate is for chair, Tom Leahy from Virginia Beach; for vice chair, Lynette Lowe from Southampton; treasurer, Sandy Schreiber; and secretary, Deborah White. So I guess make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Kiefer. Are there any other nominees that anybody from the board would like to offer? Last chance. Sure. Okay. All right. Not hearing any. I would move that we accept the nominating committee's recommendation for the slate of officers. Or we just take a vote on that slate.
Do a motion in a second, and I'd prefer somebody other than the chairman make the motion.
Oh, okay.
I made the motion.
Okay. Okay. Moved by Mr. Kiefer and seconded by Ms. Ralston. So now we vote on that slate, right? Okay, so all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, well, thank you very much, and thank you for the confidence that you placed in me. I'll serve as long as our Secretary White serves, who tells me what I need to know to do this. There are we have some standing committees, the executive committee and the audit committee, and I need to make some appointments. Not sure if I need to announce reappointments, but obviously the board is going to have dramatic changes in the next 6 months. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to keep much of what's in place already, and then work with the returning board members and hopefully any and our future board members get as soon as I can get up with them. And after the first of the year, we can make some adjustments. But for at least for the next 6 months, I'm going to reappoint Cheryl Ralston from Franklin, John Maxwell from Chesapeake, John Kiefer from Norfolk to the executive committee, and appoint Lynette Lowe from Southampton to replace Al Moore on the executive committee. And on the audit committee, I'm appointing John Maxwell to replace Ms. Lowe, and he'll be the chair of the audit committee. And Richard Broad will be appointed also. And then I need to reappoint LaVonda Graham Williams, but I'm running into a little bit of an issue about whether or not Ms. Williams is going to be able to participate. I understand she may have difficulty even attending board meetings for the rest of the year. I have not been able to contact her, and neither has Mr. McCoy, to find out if she can complete her obligations on the audit committee, which involves probably 2 or 3 meetings through between now and the end of the year. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and reappoint Ms. Graham Williams, but I would ask anybody on the board who has any interest in joining the audit committee, perhaps if you would let me know. And Mr. Maxwell might also be talking to you a little bit to try to find somebody, because again, there's a great uncertainty about whether or not Ms. Graham Williams can complete the task. And again, we're talking about 2 or 3 meetings to meet with the auditors to review their draft audit report, and then review their final audit report, and then you make a report back to the board. So it's not a oppressive amount of work, but it is an important amount of work. So I would ask anybody who's willing to do that to let us know. It does have to be a board member. In discussing issues with our attorney and with our looking at reading our minutes, our bylaws very, very carefully, those 2 committees that are appointed by the chairman must be from board members. And unfortunately, reading the wording of the bylaws about the alternates, an alternate cannot participate at this time and cannot substitute for a board member in a committee meeting. The alternates can substitute for board members only in board meetings, and that's pretty clear in the bylaws. One of the things we'll work with in the next few months is perhaps modifying the bylaws so that we can perhaps tap into the experience and knowledge of our alternate members a little more than what they allowed right now. Any questions or discussions on that? Any volunteers? Yes, Ms. Oglesby.
Volunteer.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Mr. Maxwell, did you take note of that? Okay. All right, and that good. That gives us a very good geographical representation. That's great. I love that.
Mr. Chairman, are you going to go ahead and change the appointments to the audit committee?
I think
Ms.
that's
Oglesby?
probably wise at this point, because again, not even being able to reach, Luke has tried today and I tried yesterday, not even being able to reach LaVonda Graham Williams. And trust me, she's drinking from a fire hose with respect to, she takes over as a judge on the 1st of January. And when they say feeding you information like a fire hose, it is absolutely true. So I can understand our inability to get up with her. So I think that probably the smartest move would be to appoint Ms. Oglesby as the 3rd member of the audit committee in place of Ms. Graham Williams.
Okay. Just for the record, we have Mr. Maxwell as the chair, Mr. Broad, and Ms. Oglesby as the other members.
Yes. Yes. And I'll email. All right. Well, I've had enough, taken up enough of the board's time today. I'd like to turn it over to the executive director for his updates.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
First item, I'd like to update you on is, the wetlands permit. We have received all state and federal, regulatory we've completed all state and federal regulatory requirements and received the permit to construct cells 8 and 9. That's been, as you know, been a 5-year process to go through, and I'm so excited to be able to tell you that that is finished. We do have some follow-up work that we've got to do to maintain that permit. One of the things that we're doing right now is developing a permit matrix that outlines every step that we have to take because there were conditions under the permit, as most all permits have. But this was a pretty lengthy list of things that we have to do, and our environmental folks are working on that along with our environmental consultant to make sure we have a list and deadlines, and we know exactly what our requirements are now that we have the permit. We're working diligently to close on the Magnolia property. You know, we have a purchase agreement on that property already. It's just a matter of getting the closing done. And there's one issue with an easement that we need for entrance that our attorneys are working on now, trying to get resolved. But that's not going to be an issue that will stop us from closing. Eventually, we're just trying to do it before we close. Working to schedule to finalize the easements for the preservation areas. That's all but done. We're waiting on Virginia Outdoor Foundation, who will be overseeing that easement for us. They've got a couple of changes that they've made recently, but the Corps and EPA are both aware of that. And we've got to make a payment to the Nansemond Indian Nation within 30 days of the issuance of the permit. And that's underway right now. The next item is kind of meeting with Suffolk to gather information on the CUP process. Because as you know, I'm going to report just a minute. We've got bids back for construction of cell 7. So we're going to need to be putting soil from cell 7 over onto cell 8 very soon. And we're going to meet with Suffolk to make sure that we follow their process and their understanding of what we're planning to do. So are there any questions about the wetlands permit at all? I sent a copy of the permit out to everyone. Anybody who didn't have anything else to do, sat down and read that, I'm sure. It was rather lengthy. I also sent out a record of decision that said that this project was the least environmentally damaging practical alternative. So if you have any questions, certainly feel free to get with me on that when you do read it.
Yeah, just Dennis and his staff should be, I think we all agree, should be commended for a very patient and persistent effort to get this done. Well done.
Thank you. Next item is updating on the flyover. The work zone speed limits have improved safety along the corridor. That's according to both Suffolk officials as well as VDOT officials. It's problematic to some, but it was a necessary evil. Fines for speeding went into effect on the 17th of July. So those who had received letters previous to that, the next ones will be citations for speeding in the work zone. So please be aware of that and try to get that message out. One of the issues that we had in our last meeting with VDOT, which was last Tuesday, was that the contractor continues to fall behind schedule. VDOT has taken steps now to get the project back on schedule. They have some pretty stringent things that they do to encourage contractors to get back on task. VDOT thinks that the real issue is that they're not staffing it with enough people. They're not working overtime as much as they should, and they're going to force that onto the contractor. And those folks that build roads are very aware of VDOT's procedures when projects fall behind schedule. They're pretty aggressive. So we'll wait and see if that begins to improve. The bridge steel is scheduled to be delivered in September and installed in early October. There'll be quite a bit of coordination with Suffolk on that because there'll be a road closure at night, and they've already started the process of working with Suffolk, but that's something that I want to make sure that everybody's clear that needs to be conversation is had now and not later. And I've told that to VDOT in all of our meetings. And then the project is still on budget. Actually, it's under budget at this point because we received the last change order that reduced the price for the change in the style of the MSE walls. So that was a $380,000 deduct. So we're currently under budget, and don't expect that to stay for the whole project because there'll be other things come up, but that's where we are currently. And VDOT will be back to brief the board in October, I believe it is.
Dennis, if I may,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, just going back on the work zone speed limits, the cameras, there was over 15,000 warnings sent out.
That's in a month. That was 30 days that the warnings were in effect. I think some of that could have been people knew, and the sign was flashing, said 30-day warning period, so people knew they could wait. But according to VDOT, the speed has dropped since that point. So hopefully that was what was going on, and you won't be sending out 15,000 citations. Here's the eastbound abutment that's in place for column one. You can see they're coming out of the ground pretty extensively on the whole project now. This is a part of a drainage ditch that they had to cross over where the road is going to come back in. They had to cross the ditch, so they had to put in this ditch and drainage relocation project as part of it. This is one of the problems that VDOT sees as a delay is the work platform that's just was recently completed in the center of median, when none of the steel can be installed until that column is completed. So VDOT seemed to think that they should have already been working on that, and that was part of the reason why they were behind schedule. And they're pushing them now. And last week they did finish the work platform, which allows them to get the equipment into the wetland area to be able to set up cofferdams and begin to pour concrete and set steel. All right, the next item is updates to the member communities. We briefed the Norfolk City Council on July the 15th. Mr. Kiefer and Mr. Broad were both there in attendance. I think that went very well. We still need to schedule Franklin, Portsmouth, Southampton, and Virginia Beach. I work with those member localities over the next 30, 45 days to try to get that scheduled. And then if any of those 4 member communities can set up a time, just reach out to Deborah or myself, and we'll get that on my calendar as soon as possible. Southern construction phase 1, we extended the due date for the RFP responses to the 18th. That was due to several last minute requests for information from bidders that we had not included in our original RFP. We got that out to them, and just to make sure that everybody had plenty of time to bid on the project, we did extend that another 7 days. We received 3 proposals. Staff and consultants are currently reviewing those 3 proposals. There was a considerable difference between the first and the second and third bids. We've asked our consultants to go through and make sure that everything is included in their bids. I got word back late last night that they feel like that it is. We will sit down with the one bidder and try to negotiate some of the issues in the project that we see. We'll bring up and try to negotiate a final price and bring that back to you at your next meeting in August for approval. But the low bid did come in under our estimate, so that's a good sign. We don't get to say that very often.
Can I ask a quick
Yes,
question
sir.
on that? You identified it as an RFP. Is it an IFB or is it an RFP?
It's an RFP, but one is much more qualified than any of the other 2, and that's according to our consultant. So we'll work through that process. Angie, if you have anything you want to add to that, certainly feel free, but that's where we are. It was an RFP, not an IFP. Go to the microphone, please.
Good morning. I assume I'm always loud enough. It is an RFP, but there is strong verbiage in it that states that we may choose only one based on qualifications and based on pricing. And there is a clear-cut deciding factor in the pricing. We see possibly, I can't really discuss that because we're still in negotiations, but there is a significant savings that we will see on this based on our past um, guidelines that the engineer put together for us. But with that, we do not have a clause in there that says that we will pick two and negotiate with those. That was eliminated from this, and verbiage, again, as I said, was added to say that clearly we may only pick one.
Thank you.
And the state code also says if one is more highly qualified than the other, you can't select one versus two. So that's the path that we're moving forward on. All right, any other questions on that? So we'll have a final price for you at our next board meeting and request approval for that.
You also mentioned that one of the contractors was clearly more qualified than the other two. Was that referring to just the price or also
Both.
their experience?
Both.
And was the contractor with the lowest price also the one with the best qualifications?
Yes.
That sounds good. Okay.
Any other questions? Ms. Hanson? All right, leachate evaporator, the contractor is scheduled to complete this project on September the 20th. Weather has delayed the progress and completion of electrical work, and some of the electrical work had to be completely redone because it wasn't up to, I don't know if it was a code or whether it was the requirements of the manufacturer, but that was their electrician that did it, and they had them come back and pull some of that out and had to replace it. SCS is providing the QC on the project and will be involved in the testing and final acceptance. We have some air testing that has to be done as part of our air permit when the system starts up. So they're on board with that and working with Grace in the environmental department to make sure all these pieces fall into place. And HRSD payment will be made upon the final testing and acceptance of the project. And they have stayed involved. Henry has stayed in touch with HRSD, and they're aware of where we are on the project and understand exactly what's going on. So we see no issues with that whatsoever. So our municipal volumes for the month has followed suit. It's just under the budgeted 40,000 tons number at 39,471. So essentially it's on budget. Commercial waste volumes for the month, again, were followed the trend and were well above the budgeted amount. And again, I've told you over and over again why that is. Some of the relationships that we've been able to rebuild with commercial contractors, having them bringing more waste to us. So these numbers reflect that. And when you look at our overall total waste volume, we're above, quite a bit above the average that for the month that we had planned for. Now, the cumulative, which is what's probably most important, we budgeted 480,000 tons, and that number is just below what we budgeted for municipal tons. But you'll see as we go forward, it makes up for it in the commercial tons. I'm trying to flip through because I can't read the number from up there. It was 465,000, 185 tons is what we ended up ending June with, and we had budgeted 480,000 tons of municipal waste. And again, that difference is directly tied back to a reduction in Virginia Beach waste for the year. Cumulative totals for commercial waste, we budgeted 220,000 and we brought in 294,479. So we're well above what we budgeted for. And our total budget was total budgeted tons for the year was 700,000, and we brought in 758,570 with both commercial and municipal. So we're in good shape with that. I do have a few contracts to bring to you today for approval. These are large contracts, and I wanted to say was approached after our last meeting about why we bring these contracts to you. Last month's contracts were annual renewals, and because we did that under a consent agenda, we put them all in there because I like to make the board aware, and many of you like to know about those contracts when we award them. I have the authority to award a contract up to $100,000, but I also have told you that I'm going to bring them to you. May not ask for approval, but I'm going to bring them to your attention so you know the contracts that we are under. And last month, we had a number of contracts that were under the $100,000 limit that we just kind of threw in for the sake of saving time under the consent portion of our agenda. So we'll continue to do that. But these contracts are all large contracts, capital contracts, and they're over the $100,000 threshold. So I'm bringing them to you with more detail. The first is a factory certified rebuild, CAT 972M loader. As you know, we started rebuilding CATs under this factory certified rebuild program. I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe, was when we first started. And it's proved to be a real great program that we've gotten into with Caterpillar. So anytime that we feel like it's a good idea to rebuild, and really what that means, if it's an older model unit that's not, doesn't have all the emission requirements on it, and it's in good enough condition after we do an assessment of it, then it's a possibility that we will do a rebuild versus a replacement. It gives you the same, it gives you a brand new piece of equipment, uh, a factory warranty on it, and we have had no problems with any of the ones that we have done. And we've been to the factory, they tear them down to nothing but steel, just bare steel, and then put all new parts in them and completely rebuild them. It's a great program. This particular one is done under the Sourcewell contract number 01172 CAT. It's budgeted for 360,000, 723, and the actual cost was the same because we got the price before we budgeted this. We knew what it was going to be. The vendor is Carter Machinery, and staff recommends motion to approve. Mr. Chairman.
So I would ask for a motion and a second to authorize the executive director to award a contract to Carter Machine for the purchase of a Caterpillar 3366D excavator rebuild as presented.
It's a 972M loader.
I'm sorry.
It's a 972M loader.
Oh, okay.
That's in there, but it's a different. Come on.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, so I'd ask for a motion and a second to authorize the executive director to award a contract to Carter Machine for a factory certified rebuild Caterpillar 972M loader as presented.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Sorry and a second by Mr. Moore. Are there any questions? Yes, Mr.
As in
McCoy.
the past, I abstain from voting. Carter Machinery is involved.
All right, so noted.
Can you, Mr. McCoy, can you give the reason just briefly on the record?
My son-in-law works for Carter Machinery, but does not work for this division. So I err on the air of being safe. He has nothing to do with this division, has nothing to do with this proposal.
All right, so are there any other questions or discussions? If not, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? And let the record reflect that Mr. McCoy is abstaining.
I think it's also important, Norman, the price on that loader for a new one is what, 480? Can you give me the price on a new, the one we just voted on, the 972?
Yes, sir. On the 972, that price range is over $500,000 right now. So it's generally when you see these rebuild contracts, they fall in the range of about the half the price of a new purchase.
Thank you. The next Item is a factory certified rebuild Cat 962 M loader. It's the same contract we're using to purchase this factory rebuild. The budget amount was $293,812 and the actual cost was $293,812. The vendor again, Carter Machinery, and staff recommends motion to approve.
All right, so I would ask for a motion and a second to authorize the executive director to award a contract to Carter Machine for the factory certified rebuild of a Caterpillar 962M loader. Got that one right? Have a motion by Ms. Ralston, second by Ms. Lowe. Any discussion or questions? Okay, on the same reasons? Okay. All right, having no additional discussion, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And let the record, any opposed, there were no opposed, and then Mr. McCoy is abstaining. Okay.
Thank you. Next item is a new purchase of Caterpillar 336D excavator. Contract number is there. The budget amount for this was $490,000. The actual cost was $449,000. The vendor is Carter Machinery again, and staff recommends a motion to approve. And the reason this wasn't rebuilt was because of the condition of the machine didn't warrant a rebuild because it had been in ash for so long.
All right, so I would ask for a motion and a second to authorize the executive director to award a contract to Carter Machine for the purchase of a Caterpillar 336D excavator as presented. A motion by Mr. Moore, second by Mr. Maxwell. Any discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. McCoy, are you abstaining? Mr. McCoy abstaining on the same grounds for the previous two. All right.
So the next item, we have two engagement letters, and I'm going to bring one back that I brought to you last meeting because after discussion with council, I was advised to have a vote on both of these because the likelihood of the value of these contracts being over 100,000 is very high. So at advice of council, I'm going to bring both of them back to you today for approval. The first is Wilcox Savage engagement letter. General Counsel Brett Spain, his hourly rate is $385. The others would be anywhere from $280 an hour to $630 an hour. I would like to say that the institutional knowledge that Wilcox Savage has is very extensive. I believe they've been counsel for SPSA since its inception. They have served SPSA well for many years. General Counsel has an excellent understanding of the solid waste management. He's gained that understanding and continues to gain that understanding since he's been our general counsel. And hourly rates are lower than any other law firm that SPSA serves. I also would say that we receive 25% discount off of Brett's normal hourly rate. So this is a good deal for general counsel for SPSA. They also provide real estate attorneys for us whenever we're closing on property or these easements and things like that we have to do all the time. So I would recommend that you approve Wilcox Savage's engagement letter.
All right, so I would ask for a motion and a second to approve the Wilcox Savage engagement letter for Brett Spain as presented. We have a motion by Mr. Hanson, second by Mr. McCoy. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the resolution is passed.
And I think our general counsel encouraged this because to make sure that everybody saw the rates of other attorneys that work for us at the same time they see his rates. So I bring back Williams Mullins because this contract will be worth over the $100,000 limit for the year. So I wanted to make sure that you approve this. First is Brad Nowak, our lead attorney. His hourly rate is $720 an hour, and others in their firm range from $295,000 to $1,035 an hour. But we will not be using anyone really other than Brad Nowak and others. I think they're called associates, right, Brad?
Correct. Yeah. We're working with
So-
one associate now, Christian Litwiller.
But his engagement letter included all of their attorneys in their practice, so they range from $295 to $1,035. Brad provides specialized legal services in contract law. He has led contract negotiations with Wheelabrator Repower, Mass Energy, which is our gas contract for landfill, and the United States Navy. He does an excellent job, and what we pay him, we've earned back through our our most recent Wheelabrator experience and what we were able to do in terms of recovering assets there. Speak highly of what he does. So I would recommend that the board approve a motion for this engagement letter.
All right, so I would ask for a motion and a second to approve the Williams-Mullen engagement letter for Brad Nowak as presented. Motion by Mr. Hanson, second by Ms. Oglesby. Any discussions? I will say those numbers are quite staggering, but you do have to remember it builds in a lot of overhead, a lot of other costs are built into that. And Mr. Nowak, I will tell you, he's been nothing but a great help as we've moved through the RFP selection process, and wouldn't have wanted to go through that process without him. So, all right. So we have any other discussion questions? All right. Hearing none, I'll take a vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Resolution's carried. Thank you. The next issue is our financial report. It's a written only. It's on page 31 of the agenda packet. Are there any questions? There are.
Mr. Chairman, if I could add on, this is, we will be coming back with you with your end of year financial report, and that will be a verbal report in open session once we've closed all the books, so you know where we are and any issues that come up. So that'll be forthcoming probably next month, Sandy.
All right, so the next item will be to recess into close. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you had to do it. I need that. Sorry. All right, so I'd entertain a motion and a second to accept the financial report. Motion by Ms. Lowe. Second, I think Mr. Broad got in under the wire, so Mr. Broad seconded. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All in favor of accepting the financial report, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion's carried. Now we'll recess into closed session. The people who will be present for the entire closed session are the board members, and that includes our alternate members, SPSA executive staff, SPSA council, and Mr. Kevin Hughes from the city of Suffolk, who will be taking over from Mr. Moore when he retires next month. Also, we are inviting Emily Tuttle and Laren Brink from HDR, who are the people who are being proposed to provide our communication consulting contract. And also, there's a Chesapeake City Attorney here. Our Chesapeake City Attorney will be sitting in for the discussions on the use and support agreement, but not on the discussions of the alternative waste disposal contract.
Mr.
So I'll
Chairman,
read the pardon?
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, could Suffolk also have that privilege as we have our city attorney here for the use and support agreements?
Yes, we'll go ahead and add the Suffolk City Attorney. Okay. The Portsmouth Assistant City Attorney. All right. Pardon? Okay. Okay. So I could go ahead and review that again. So in addition to the board members, including the alternate members, SPSA executive staff, SPSA council, Mr. Kevin Hughes from the city of Suffolk, um, Emily Tuttle and Lauren Brink from HDR, the Chesapeake City Attorney, the Suffolk City Attorney, and the Portsmouth Assistant City Attorney. All are invited to participate, to sit in, excuse me, not participate. But we do need to know, are there any concerns as to the participants any concerns from the board as for that list of participants? Hearing none, then I think we're agreed. And now I'll read a motion to, I'll read a motion to go into closed session, then I'll be looking for a motion and a second on that. I move that a closed session be held for discussions regarding 1, negotiations with Commonwealth Sortation regarding its proposal received in response to the RFP issued by SPSA for solid waste disposal services in accordance with A, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A29 for the purpose of considering the negotiation and award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds and discussion of the terms or scope of such contract, where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body. And B, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A8 for the purpose of consulting with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. And 2, the proposed amendment to the existing use and support agreements being prepared in conjunction with the negotiations with Commonwealth Sortation in accordance with Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A8 for the purpose of consulting with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel. May I have a motion? I heard Mr. Broad and a second by Mr. Moore. So we have a motion and a second. If there's no objection or any additional discussion or questions, we'll take a roll call vote.
Mr. Maxwell.
Yes.
Mr. Sorry.
Yes.
Ms. Ralston. Ms. Oglesby. Dr. Baugh. Mr. Robertson. Mr. Kiefer. Mr. Broad. Mr. McCoy. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Parnell. Ms. Lowe. Mr. Moore. Mr. Leahy.
Yes.
Mr. Hanson.
All right, so we'll take a brief break and get set up for closed session and see everybody back here in about 4 or 5 minutes. Certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, A, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and B, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting just concluded. So could I have a motion? Moved by Mr. Moore, second by Ms. Ralston. Any discussion? Otherwise, we'll take the roll call vote.
Mr. Maxwell. Mr. Sorry. Ms. Ralston. Ms. Oglesby. Dr. Baugh. Mr. Robertson. Mr. Kiefer. Mr. Broad. Mr. McCoy. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Parnell. Ms. Lowe. Mr. Moore. Mr. Leahy.
Yes.
Mr. Hanson.
All right. So the next issue will be the presentation on the strategic communications consultant, and Dennis will introduce the representatives, and they'll give a quick briefing of what they've got working.
Okay, we have with us today Emily Tuttle. She's the Mid-Atlantic Strategic Communication Manager for HDR Engineering, and Laren Brink is a Senior Strategic Communication Project Manager for HDR Engineering. I wanted to bring to you them today. That they're going to talk a little bit about and answer any questions, take feedback from you all about any concerns you might have. But their relevant experiences that they've done. They did our original rebranding. They worked when we did the Citizen Advisory Committee at the very beginning of the EIS process, which is a requirement from the Corps. Um, they work VDOT, they do a lot of work with VDOT on various road projects, which includes community engagement on a lot of different aspects of projects, cultural impacts, wetland impacts, and environmental justice. So they have a wealth of experience in the public sector projects, strategically communicating those projects to the communities where they are being impacted. So um, part of what we want to do today is go through the work plan that we've developed and been working on for quite some time, and we're going to put into play almost immediately after this meeting. We're going to start working forward, but we wanted to make sure that you all knew what was going on and you had an opportunity to input on anything that you might feel is a concern. The first part of that is information gathering, and I'm going to really, at this point, I think, just turn it directly over to you, Emily, and we'll tag team if we need to, or Laren, whoever you're gonna
Yeah,
present.
thank you, Dennis. And thank you guys for including us. We'll be brief. So Dennis talked about, we have a work plan that we've been discussing, and it's been really helpful to hear a lot of the conversation today. This looks like a lot. It's intended to be a very nimble, flexible approach so that we're getting information from you, we're developing materials, and we're able to give you resources very quickly to be able to use in your communities and in the conversations that you're having. So in that first information gathering phase, which as Dennis mentioned, we hope to start tomorrow, we want to be working with SPSA and with the member communities and you guys, including your communications leads, to learn a little bit more about what are the obstacles. We heard some of that today, but what are those obstacles that you see about communicating about this topic? And what are you hearing, and how can we help you craft messages to reach the audiences that you need to reach to get this information out? And so talking to your communications leads, hearing about the conversations that you've had in recent months and years, looking at data, looking at industry trends, looking at different viewpoints. And that's not a month-long process, but we do need to start with just understanding those perspectives and learning from you because you know the most. And then pretty quickly, we're going to transition into developing some strategic talking points. And so this is just taking that information, crafting some key messages based on what we're hearing. And then we're going to pretty quickly from there transition into a near-term tactical brief. And we call it near-term because we want to move quickly. And this is that who, what, when, why, and creating a framework that really outlines who are your audiences, what is the information that's important to your audiences, how do they like to receive information, where are they, like digital engagement options, in-person engagement, where are they collecting information? And this is going to help SPSA proactively identify and clearly share messages in the most effective and efficient way. And we also want to be in the near-term tactical brief stage. We want to be figuring out how are we going to be measuring the effectiveness of these efforts. And then communications plan is listed up here, and this may include fact sheets, website copies. So after we develop that brief, which is that framework, taking your feedback, developing that approach, developing those key messages, and then how and where are we deploying them and what resources are most needed by you. And then our research obviously is going to tell us where we should be focusing some of those efforts as well. And so we're listening, we're researching, we're developing those key messages, we're figuring out what's going to be the most effective way to deploy them, when, where.
I think it's really important to think about it. It's a framework, but it's also a feedback loop.
Yep.
You know, as things go out, we get more information back in, we tweak, we adjust, information goes out, we get it back in, and we want that to always be collaborative. It's always thinking about, you know, what's the latest thing that you're hearing? Is that something that we want to use to address or make changes?
And then last up here, we have earned media and thought leadership. And earned media is, all that means is what news articles are written about you. And so in this task, we're going to be building off a lot of the existing momentum that you've had in recent months and years with local media, with industry colleagues, continuing to find opportunities to tell this story. And what are those unique, newsworthy moments? And how do we push those forward? And so that's what Dennis and I and Laren have been working on. It isn't, sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
If I could add a couple of things, the information gathering piece, we've already started on that. We met and I turned over a ton of information for Emily and Laren to begin to go through about, and it was very detailed. And
Yeah.
and they've also done a lot of research on the internet trying to find out exactly who our audience is and who we need to address in our plan. The strategic talking points is something that we're looking to try to get out to you all very quickly. My goal is by the 15th of August, so before our next board meeting, you'll have that in front of you so that you can get that information out to your whoever you see it needs to go out to. In the meantime, they will also be talking to your communications people in each one of your cities or counties, so that if you have one, so that they can help with some of the information sharing on the websites and that sort of thing. And also, Zach in the back is working on this team of folks to implement this from our standpoint. He'll be working with them on our social media platforms and our website to make sure that we have a focused message, that it talks about the things that we need to be talking about, and it doesn't steer off from that. Because we get in meetings and we try to set that up for the audience that we're at, but we need to have that same message going out all the time, and it's not always the case with what we're doing. So this is going to kind of direct us in the right path. And those first 4 bullets are really, really important to get out as soon as we possibly can. And we realize that, and we'll be working towards that. The communications plan is more of a longer term. It'll come out a little at the time. And then the last one, the earned media. We already have some earned media that we do. I've got the VHRO is calling and wanting to know more about this project. They're real excited about it. Channel 10, Channel 3 called the other day. So we get a lot of the earned media just because people know what we're doing and they're excited about it and they want to report on it. And you all have been sharing with some, well, I've shared most of those with you all, or you've seen most of those. So I think one of the things that this contract is going to do is Laren and Emily will be working towards helping us with more of that earned media and thought leadership in that kind of respect. So that's really all I had to add. And we'd be happy if you got any concerns or specific things that you want us to look at that aren't already in our work plan. We just want to give you an opportunity to share that with us today. They've been in the meeting. They've heard a lot of information today that I think is going to be helpful for them. So if you have anything else, certainly feel free to reach out to them, talk to them today, talk to them right now. We're open for suggestions about things that would be helpful to you as we kind of promote the use and support agreements moving forward. And in general, this contract and the good it's going to be for the whole entire region. Any thoughts or comments? I know it's been a long day. Okay, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us.
All right, I believe we are at the end of the agenda. Is there anything else anybody would like to bring up? All right, well then, if there's nothing else to be brought before the board, the meeting's adjourned.